Alright guys, welcome aboard. We're going to be doing a nice short hop here today from Albuquerque, New Mexico over to Phoenix. We're going to be taking the Zibo 737. This is the 3.29 Echo version, which is the latest one as of today. And we are going to jump into the airplane here. We've got real-time, real-world weather, so it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice flight throughout the entire route. So here, let's get started here. Let's go with loading and cleaning. We'll get all that stuff set up. Go over to our ground services and we'll set our chocks. Get our APU going here. Let me just change my my volume here a little bit. All right, get all set up. All right, so we got our ground power unit fired up, so we can go ahead and connect up our DC power here. Get our external or emergency exit lights on. Go over to ground power. Let's turn up our panel lights while we're up here. Get up here, get the IRSs aligned, and we'll start up. Oh, we haven't done that yet. All right, let's come back down here. Turn our panel lights up, left and right, and down on the center console. Get my yoke back on. All right, let's set our position here. Jump into the FMC, go over to position init, go to the second page, grab one of the GPSs here and drop that in there. Go over to route. We're going to be going from KABQ and we're going to KPHX. Alright, fuel, we got plenty of it over here. We don't have to worry about it. We're just going to take the default here. Reserves, we're just going to say 5. Cost index, again, I never use that. Throw that in there. It will do for a cruising altitude 300. Winds, generally, I'm just going to put 350 at 040. We'll see what they actually are, but that's pretty close to it. And temperature-wise, let's just go 15 at minus 35. That's about what it should be at about 30,000 feet. Okay, we'll execute that. Go over to our limits here, grab our outside temperature. We're not going to derate. Go over to takeoff, set 5 flaps, grab our CG 4.7. Let's come over here and just set that up. There we go. Enter our V speeds. Let's go back up here to the top panel. We'll hit 138 for V2. There we go. 30,000 feet already set up there. Let's make sure we put 30,000 in our pressurization here. There we go. And landing altitude over in Phoenix, their field elevation is about 1150. So we'll set that right there. And while I'm looking up here, I'm going to go ahead and get our packs set the way I want them to. Let's go ahead and fire up our APU. There we go. Alright, come back down here to the FMC again. Let's get our route entered. So we'll go departure. We're going to be taking off runway 26. We're going to be doing the Adios 3 departure, Zoom transition. Go back to route. And no real route in between. We're just going departure to arrival. So arriving into Phoenix, we're going to go runway 26. RNAV. There it is. Y. And we're going to do the... I think it's the Eagle 6. Yep, Eagle 6. Again, Zoom transition. Zerlo. We're going to set that to right there and then go there, activate it, execute it. Now we're going to edit this route. So we're going to go to takeoff here. And let's take a look at the route here. So we'll go to plan. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit because we might have to edit some of these. So let's just go to legs really quick. Alright, so we're departing out of here. over to ABQ. That's the VOR, I believe. Adios, Python, Zune, Dojo, Slider, whatever that's called. We got a top of Descent, Payson, Eagle, Homer, Venom. Yeah, see here, so we're going to delete some of this stuff here. So this one right here is, let's just see which one that is. So we're going to go Venom, we're going to skip that, we're going to skip that, we're going to skip that. I don't know why it does this crazy thing right here. We'll just see. Okay, and then Zerlo. So we want to go Venom to Zerlo. So we're going to grab Zerlo, replace that, hit execute. Take Zerlo again, back up over here. Over there. I don't know if you can just delete them all, but I don't know. I know this one works. This method works. So Zerlo, get rid of that one. There we go. Alright. And that looks a little bit nicer here. So this is at Homer, Venom, Zerlo, over there, and then into the airport. Perfect. No vectors or anything. Let's just double check. Make sure we don't have anything like a vector in here or a discontinuity. Doesn't look like it. Looks good. Go back to page 1. Go off of the plan. We'll leave it at 20. Alright, I think we're ready to depart. So let's see if our GPU or APU is going. We'll go over to APU power. We'll come over here, set that to APU power. Alright, now we can put our yaw dampeners on. We'll get ready for pushback, so we're going to put all of our fuel pumps on. We're on APU power. Alright, let's stop right here. Let's go back down to here. We're going to remove our chocks, disconnect the GPU, and stop the loading and start the flight leg. And we'll go to the PA system, hit the welcome message.
From the flight deck, welcome aboard our flight today. We're wrapping up the final paperwork here to get you on your way momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your company and business. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
Alright, back into the cockpit here. Let's keep going down our panel here. So we stopped over here. We're on the right power setting. Everything looks good there. We'll put our seatbelt sign on for right now. We'll go ahead and turn our window heat on. Pitot heat is going to stay off. We're going to hit our beacon right now too, and our nav lights. Get our electrical fuel pumps on, get our trim air on, and we already set all of these to auto. Alright, everything else looks good. We're ready for pushback. So let's go ahead. Pull up my pushback here, and that's about exactly where I want to go. So I'm going to hit
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
My goodness, that is loud. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call him.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Alright, super. Well, while he's driving up, here he comes. We're going to go ahead and hit our flight director on the left and right on. Arm our auto throttle. We're going to hit our VNAV and LNAV buttons. Make sure that they engage. And if you can't get your VNAV to stay on, it means you didn't do your temperature in the FMC correctly. Need to enter that temperature for this to work. And let's see, while I'm looking down here, I'm just going to set this one over to progress.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
And I'm going to hit my parking brake. That'll get rid of that. And hit it again. We'll get the tow engaging on us. Let's go ahead and take a look at him.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright, parking brake's off.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Alright, as he starts pushing us back, let's go ahead and get ready to start engines here. So we're going to turn packs right and left off. We've got our bleed on for our APU. We'll go over and throw number 2 over to ground. Keep an eye on our N2 here. Waiting for it to come up to about 20. Alright, going to introduce fuel. And again, I have a key that does that. It brings this lever up. So I'll show you how that works on starting number 1.
The following safety video. Sir, please fasten your seatbelt. To fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal fitting into the muzzle and pull the loose end.
Okay, got a good start on number 2, so let's go ahead and throw number 1 over to ground. And again, watching the N2 here, want to get that up to at least 20. Alright, and if you take a look down here, I'm going to hit my little key here on my keyboard, and that will bring that up. That introduces the fuel into the left engine.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Alright, parking brake on.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, got a good start on number 1. We can go ahead and get rid of this display right now. I'll just hit that right there. And we'll go over to engine power. Turn our APU bleed off. Turn our packs back on. And we'll go over to Gen 1 on our DC power. Or sorry, our AC power. Alright, everything else looks good up here. We're just going to turn off our APU, and again I have a switch that does that. We'll wait for the tow to drive off here to the side.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Wait for him to pop up and give us a thumbs up. There he is. Thank you very much. Alright, we're ready to taxi here. So I'm going to hit my taxi lights on, and we'll put our logo on too. What the heck? Okay, parking brake released. Power up a little bit here. Get on our taxi line here, and now where they're moving, we can go ahead and put our pitot heat on. Do a quick recall here and make sure our master stays off. And we're going to go ahead and bring our flaps to the takeoff position. It's 5 degrees. Put our auto braking to RTO. And as you can see, I've got I've got the Albuquerque Payware scenery from Mr. X. I did a prior video there, just kind of taking a look at some of the scenery. $20 in the org store. Well worth it. All right, we'll pick up our taxi speed here a little bit. And while we're taxiing here, let's go ahead and bring up our sectional chart here. Grab Albuquerque there. Zoom out just a little bit. Fantastic looking scenery here. Love the grass. It's like the simple little thing in scenery that just makes it look that much more realistic. Alright, we're coming up to the approach zone for runway 21 here, so we're going to put our strobes on. Passing by Kirkland Air Force Base. Alright, and that is the end of the runway 21 approach zone, so we'll take our strobes off again. Such nice scenery. I think I could just taxi around all day long here, and that would be really nice. There we go. Trying to find the tower view. Alright, let's get back on the taxiway there. And let's see which one we got here. Alpha, kind of hard to see when you're flying by it here. Alright, we're coming up to the end of the runway here, so let's go ahead hit our wing lights.
By the Dennis for takeoff, please.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Alright, let's get a couple things on here. We'll go to airports, weather. We're going to zoom out just a little bit, slow down ever so slightly. We'll turn our transponder to TARA. We're going to go all the way to the end here. Alright, so flaps are set, auto braking set, transponder is on. Put our strobes on right now.
Approaching 26. On runway 26.
Alright, landing lights on. Alright, we'll bring the power up to about 40%, let the engine stabilize. Alright, there we go, hit our toga button. Rotating.
Positive rate.
Do a flyby, gear up. Alright, back in the plane, flaps up to 2. Alright, 1,000 feet, we're going to go ahead and engage our autopilot. Let's take a look at the airport there, just passing off under the wing. And downtown Albuquerque going by. They're going to bring the flaps all the way up now. I always get that little landing rate indicator right there. There's a little bump on the runway, so if you just bump it a little bit, set that off. There's downtown Albuquerque right there. Heading off over the desert, got a little bit of light chop here. Alright, let's get cleaned up in the cockpit here. You know we never set our altimeter, but we'll just leave it at 2992 for right now. Let's see here. We will put our gear handle to the off position. So we got the outer marker there for the opposite runway. Auto braking to off. And 10,000 feet, landing lights can go off. Get our logo off, make sure our wing lights are off. And I have keys for all that, so that landing lights here, everything, all these lights look good. We'll check our pressurization, that looks like it's working. Go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Let's see, we've got a little bit of haze we're going to be passing through here. We should be out of the haze here shortly and have a little bit better view of the desert scenery. Climbing out to our altitude here. I'm just going to double check our altitudes for the arrival. 18, 17, 9, 7. Yes, looks good. I think that looks good. We'll see what that looks like on the approach.
Switched off shortly. However, for your own safety, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt loosely fastened in case of any unexpected turbulence. We have an excellent team on board today, and we are all happy to offer you any assistance you may require throughout the flight. Our in-flight entertainment has begun.
Alright, so you can see a little bit of a difference between the scenery right here. I actually did the ortho along the airport there at 17. So that's why you got a lot nicer scenery looking right there, higher definition. It's a little bit lower over here. I don't remember exactly what I had, but still looks nice and good. Let's watch the fly through the clouds here. Like I said, some real nice scenery down below. Alright, let's get our altimeter set. We'll hit standard. Got another 9,000 feet to go. So I'm going to turn some music on. It's a pretty short flight today. Take a look at that in a minute. Let's see what our flight time is. All right, I'm going to turn down the engine noise there a little bit, hit some tunes. Alright, that looks good. So we can take a quick look at progress right here. It says we're going to be into Phoenix at 0020Z, and we are at 2335. So just about 50 minutes or so, we should be on the ground in Phoenix. Alright, and as we get up to our cruise altitude, I'm going to go ahead and do an outside view. I'll turn this down just for a second, just so we don't blow our eardrums out. There we go. We can watch the scenery go by here. Alright, and as we watch the scenery go by, I'm going to take a quick break, grab a bottle of water here, and I will be right back. So enjoy the scenery down below in New Mexico here. Alright guys, back in the cockpit here. Let's jump back in the cockpit and turn music up just a little bit. So we are at our cruise altitude. Let's go ahead and do our cruise announcement. I'm going to turn the music down. Jump over here, PA, level off speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again from the flight deck, we've leveled off now at our cruising altitude. We're going to go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt sign. I'd like to kindly ask if you are staying in your seats to keep those seatbelts comfortably fastened for your safety. Onboard computer showing an on-time arrival, no ATC delays either. We're going to stay quiet up here, have you enjoy the flight and the service. Once again, welcome aboard.
Alright, we'll take the seatbelt signs off. And we'll also switch our strobes off. Just coming up to the end of the chart here. So just over 40 miles out from Zune. What do we got here? 46.3. And while we're cruising along over here, let's see if we can speed ourselves up a little bit. Go over to cruise, and we're going to bump our cruise speed up to 0.815. That should save us a little bit of time. I always like to look around and see what there is to see down here. It's like a little subdivision neighborhood. Not sure what that is. Let's take a look inside the map and see what we're looking at here. So that is Black Rock Airport, and we got Othole Municipal. Anyway, it's Zuni, the town of Zuni. Let's see if we can spot the airports out there. Well, there's one right there, and I had another one someplace on this side, the one that was closed. I don't know, I don't see it. Unless it's someplace right there. Or is that it right there? That little strip. See what we got on this side. Got a little river running through here somewhere. Just about off the chart here, so let's go ahead and bring up the Phoenix sectional. I never did see that airport there, Black Rock. Heading right for the Zuni VOR. I'm sure if we looked really close, we'd probably find it someplace down here. We're going to make a right-hand turn here, or sorry, left-hand turn. So let's watch that from this view here. Alright, let's see where we got our top of descent here. Looks like it's about 80 miles out or so. So yeah, 79 nautical miles to the top of descent. What are our winds here? Oh boy, my wind estimate was off, huh? I'll have to double check that next time. Got a 27 knot headwind. We're going to start getting into some interesting looking scenery here. We start getting into some of the mountains. So we'll watch that go by here for a little bit. And then get ready for our descent into Phoenix. pop back inside here. Take a look at our approach here. So top of descent is what is that? About 60 miles out, maybe a little bit shorter. We'll go ahead and set that right now. So let's take a look at our altitudes on here. And since we're going all the way down, we're actually going to go down to I think it's 1,900 for the approach. So we'll set that right here. There we go, 1,900. So we're ready for our descent, and nice calm flight here. Curious to see what we're flying by. Looks like, is that Snowflake? Yes, it is. Snowflake, is that Arizona? Or New Mexico? I'm not sure. I'm going to assume Arizona. Letting the chart load here. I'm gonna guess that's yeah, that's Arizona. And there you can see our Phoenix, our arrival. Let's go ahead and just set it like that. And as you can see, we got some interesting mountains we come around here going into Phoenix. let's get a couple of things set up here. We're going to want to get our ATIS, which I believe we do have 127575. I'm just going to double check that. Uh, 127575 in Phoenix, perfect. So as soon as we get that, we will set our altimeter setting. Just coming up to our top of descent here. We started our initial descent here. And turn towards the Phoenix area. Phoenix way off in the distance out in the haze over here. Keep an eye on our altitude here. Make sure we don't get a little bit too low here. Might have to adjust that. I don't think we will. And we might run into a little bit of chop here. Before we get the ATIS, let's see if we can get the weather off of our AviTab here. KPHX. Hit enter. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's see if we got a current weather for them. Is today the 12th? Yes, it is. 2983, winds out of the south, 7 knots, 10 miles, visibility sky clear, 35 degrees, 07 for dew point, altimeter 2983 remarks, AO2 just means it's an automated observation and that's your sea level pressure there, and I don't remember what that is. Well, we'll set 2983 and see how accurate that is. We got 2983 down here on standby. Let's go back to our chart. And we started our descent here, so we're going to go starters to continuous. We'll put our strobe lights back on. Double check our fuel here. We're just coming up to 1,000 on the center fuel tank, so we're going to go ahead and shut those off. And I do have the Phoenix VOR tuned into VOR 2, and I do have it set for 348. 258 is our approach course, and so 90 degrees off of that gives us a little indicator here. Now the VOR sits at the front of the runway. If you take a look at this, get over to the runway there. There we go. So here's the VOR. Here's the runway we're coming into. So that's the green line is sort of a mark right across there. And I like to do that just that it gives me a little more situational awareness. Coming out of 18,000 feet here, we'll go with this altimeter until we get the ATIS. Now, like I said, real pretty looking scenery out here.
Phoenix Sky Harbor INTL information Foxtrot 0 Zulu weather. Wind 210 at 5, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 12,000 few, temperature 39, dew point 3. Altimeter 2976. Arriving runway 26, departing runway 26.
Alright, so we got our altimeter setting there. It was a little bit off. I used to live in a Phoenix area, and I don't think I've ever been out towards this way. I mean, I guess I've driven from Albuquerque to Phoenix a couple of times. Don't exactly know where the road is. Probably farther to the south, I think. But always fun driving through the desert. Double check our altitudes here. We are going to be heading for 9,400. There we go. Making that final turn. Gotta love X-Plane 11 with the Ortho 4XP. This looks fantastic. Alright, as we come out of the mountains here, we're going to start getting ourselves slowed up. somewhere around that peak right there. I love the Southwest. I live in Southern California and I wouldn't move anywhere else. Just so much scenery to see. Alright, let's get ready for the approach here. Enough dilly-dallying looking at the scenery here. Alright, so we got 7,000 at, what is that, C-Run? C-Run, Tudri, Jaggle. That looks good. Let's see if we can see Phoenix. Oop, I didn't want to do that. Hit the wrong key. I can't help it, I want to look at that scenery some more. You can see Phoenix Airport right over here. Go. I was going to say that should drop off our screen there a little bit. As we turn towards our final approach. Out of the mountains here. Alright, so we can take a look down here, and that VOR is 23 miles away now. Sometimes it gets a little windy over here in Phoenix. You can see we're bouncing around a little bit, so we might get a little bit of light chop here. We'll go ahead and put the seatbelt signs on.
The seatbelt sign has been switched on. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been switched off.
Alright, coming up to our first turn here, 20 miles away. We're going to go ahead and start getting some flaps in. As soon as we do the turn there. I want to keep looking at the mountains. Alright, there's our turn. Let's go 2 degrees of flaps. See those coming down. We'll hit our speed brakes here too. Start getting ourselves slowed up. Alright, and as we turn out onto our final approach course here, we're a little bit of bumpy here. A little bumpy coming into Phoenix here. The speed brake's up just a tad. Alright, we do have our approach indicator. I'm going to go ahead and hit the approach button on our flight controls on our autopilot there. Alright, spoilers are down. We're going to go ahead and hit 5 flaps here. Let's watch those come down. They did come down. I think that's Mesa Airport. Alright, let's get set up over here. So we're going to go to auto braking 2. We're going to go ahead and hit our landing lights now. Hit our taxi light also, and our turn-offs, what the heck. Hit our logo light. Let's take a quick look down here at our approach landing. Oop, didn't want to do that. Alright, start switch is continuous, recall. We're going to do that. Speed brakes are going to be armed, and we'll hold at landing gear there. Just waiting to capture our final descent here. We're at 13 DME now. All right, and we'll kill the music for the approach. And bring the volume up here so you can hear all the goodness. Just about ready to capture the descent. There we go, got it. We're going to go to 10 on the flaps. Alright, let's do a final check here. We're going to hit landing gear here shortly, as soon as we hit 8 DME. Alright, there we go. Landing gear coming down. And we're going to go 15 on the flaps, 25 and 30. Alright, landing gear's down, 3 green, 30 on the flaps, landing lights are on, auto braking set, and spoilers are armed. There we go. Nice little bumpy approach into Phoenix today. We're going to slow ourselves down to about 138.
Thousand feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Alright, checked. A little gusty wind here, you can see it keeps changing around right here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take the throttle at this time.
Approaching 26.
And I'm going to disengage the autopilot. Airplane is now mine.
500. 400. 300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Alright, thrust reverse is engaged. Lower the nose.
knots.
Alright, thrust reverse is off. Manual braking. Unacceptable landing there. Alright, let's get cleaned up. We'll put spoilers down. Flaps up. Turn our strobes off and landing lights off. Had a little bit of a crosswind. The wind started kind of going a little bit more crosswindy on me there last couple hundred feet. So I just wanted to kind of get it down on the ground. Alright, and we'll put our auto braking to off. Go ahead and start our APU. Double check our autopilot's off. And we'll take a stand over here and then do a couple of replays there. We'll see how that looked. Now, American usually parks a little bit farther out here, but I'm just going to grab the closest stand, which I see right ahead of me here. Be surrounded by US Airways. Alright, landing light off. Or sorry, I meant taxi light. There we go. Alright, let's set the parking brake on. We'll turn our power over to our APU, beacon off, and we'll shut down the engines. Alright, we got our jetway coming in to us, and everybody is deplaning. Alright, let's go ahead and do a replay here. Yeah, from right about there. Do the wing view here for this one. So if you like that, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button. If you have any questions about X-Plane or any of the scenery that you see here, have anything like that I can maybe help you out with, go ahead and hit a comment in the comment section of the video. I usually try to reply within a couple of days. Hope you enjoyed that, and stick around for some more here. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and do so. I do a bunch of X-Plane videos here. You can check out my channel on YouTube. Not just flying the airliners, but also some general aviation flights. Appreciate you watching a video here and sticking around with me. Till next time, take care. We'll do a few more replays here.